Good morning, everyone. Today is another day of the van build. What day is it? Like 3, 4?
I don't even know.
I don't even know.
I think we did like 3 or 4 days last weekend.
But our goal this weekend is to get all the insulation done, starting with getting the floor taken out and the floor framed out so we can put insulation down there. So we're going to make the most of it today, and we're going to, hopefully today, get the floor, what am I trying to say? Get the rattle trap put in and the floor framed out and get that going. So we'll just see.
Tomorrow will be all like insulating the walls and things like that, putting up the furring strips, things like that.
So hopefully we get all that done this weekend, but
I think we will. I think we'll get it all done this weekend.
Hopefully.
It's just going to be a couple late nights.
Yep.
If you're wondering how to insulate your van, how to frame your floor, that's pretty much what we're going to be doing in this video. So just stay tuned.
Let's get into it.
So when we bought our van, it came with flooring already in it. It's like a, what is it, stock floor?
Yes, a stock floor.
So we're going to be just using that for our flooring. So we're framing out underneath that to add insulation, but then we're just going to put this right back on top of it. And then the flooring that we put in the van, like the, what is it, like the decorative flooring, I guess?
Like the vinyl locking floor.
Yeah, once we put that in, it's just going to go straight on top of this. So we don't really have anything, like we're not using plywood to like make the subfloor.
We didn't see that necessary because this floor is literally already perfectly cut to where it needs to be. And quite frankly, this floor is much nicer than buying plywood. It's much more durable anyways.
Yeah.
So
we're just going to do that.
We're just going to use it.
And you're probably hearing Chloe cry in the background because she can't see us.
Yep,
and
freaking
she
out.
has separation anxiety. So if you ever hear her crying in the back of our videos,
that's why.
That's why. It's probably just because she can't see us or she can't be right next to us attached to our hip.
Yeah.
So just going to put that disclaimer out there.
Yes. So now we were about to start filming, taking the floor out, and I realized that I don't have a Torx bit.
So we have to go back.
So we're going to have to go back to Lowe's again 3 times in 24 hours.
Yeah. So we'll see you back here in a few.
So normally I'm a DeWalt guy. All my other tools are DeWalt. Sorry, it's kind of crooked, but all my other tools are DeWalt, but this Bosch set's on sale. It's only the one that's got a big enough Torx bit in it, so I'm just gonna get this. It's on sale, so I think it makes the most sense. Okay, so I know it can be confusing, and it was for us, so this might be helpful, but the back strip back here, to take these out, it is a T20 Torx bit, and then these throughout the, like through here, and the D-rings throughout the van, those are a T45. So normal like standard kits like this don't come with that, so we did have to buy a separate T45 Torx bit to take those out. So just so you know, that is what it takes. We went ahead and bought just everything just so we didn't have to go back to Lowe's again, but that is what it takes to take these out. So that is what we're gonna do now.
Chloe is much happier now because she gets to be in the van with us. Aren't you, Chloe?
Okay, so that was much harder than what I expected. I was expecting to use the impact to take those out, but it was just going to strip it, so I had to use the socket set and take out, which worked, but it was much more difficult than what I thought. So now that that's done, we're going to take out the floor and just kind of look at what's underneath here, and then we're going to figure out the best way to frame the floor so we can have insulation in between. I might have skipped a step there. I think we might have to do the rattle trap first, so then we're not trying to go around the adhesive that we're going to use to stick the 1x down underneath the floor, so that way there's enough room for the wool insulation. and that was a lot, but I think let's get into it.
Now is the moment of truth, whether the floor comes up in one piece or if it comes up in two pieces. I'm hoping for one piece. Just that one piece was much heavier than I expected.
Yeah.
The one thing that we forgot at home today was glass cleaner, so we're gonna run back and get that right now, and then we're not leaving tonight until this floor is done. So even if we're working into the dark, that's fine, but tomorrow we want to be at a starting point of only needing to insulate the rest of the van, because that includes insulating with the wool and putting the reflectix up, and we're getting all that done this weekend. After a day of too many trips to Lowe's and a trip back home, I think we're finally ready to start laying down everything that has to go with the floor. Now it is time to put the rattle trap on. We're not sure if we're gonna have enough to cover the entire floor, so we're gonna start with the wheel wells first. This is a sound deadener, and we already think that our van is pretty quiet when we're like driving, because it's newer and everything seems to ride pretty quietly. But we just want to take like this extra level of precaution so that when we are driving like really long distances, we're not getting annoyed by the amount of road noise. Some of our van already does have sound deadener in it, but we're putting this on the floor and in the places that it's not, just to make sure that we can have as quiet of a ride as possible.
After a lot of hard work, the rattle trap is in.
As you probably noticed in that shot, we did not cover the entire floor in the sound deadener, and that's one, because we didn't have enough of it, but also we are insulating our floor, so the wool is actually going to act as another sound deadener. We didn't really care too much that we couldn't put it all the way around the floor. The biggest thing was making sure that it was on the wheel wells, because obviously when you're driving down the road, that's where you're gonna get the most noise. And now, after all that hard work, it's time for us to frame the subfloor, finally.
Yeah.
And I already know that you don't want us to bore you with the details of what that actually looks like.
Right, so we'll just show you.
We're just gonna make it easy on you. And now it's time to insulate. In our van, we decided to go the eco-friendly, healthy route with our insulation. So we chose to go with Havelock wool. We heard really, really good things about it in all the research that we did on insulation. I think the only thing that could probably have better value might be spray foam, but we didn't want to go to all that trouble. So we heard really good things about this and we thought it would do just fine. So we're putting that in now, and then all day tomorrow we're gonna spend probably hours putting this insulation in all the walls, but right now we're just doing the floors, so you'll see that when it's finished. The insulation on the floor looks so good. I am so surprised because the whole plan just came together. And again, Chloe is crying. Chloe.
Here lately, we're kind of used to the plan not coming together. So, it's just nice.
But this is how the floor turned out. We're super excited about it. I can't believe we did this all day. Also now 10:30 and all that's left to do is put the floor back in. Good morning. We lost you last night.
Yeah, sorry we fell asleep on you.
We finished the floor and we're gonna show you what that looks like, but we're super excited because today we actually get to insulate like the entire van.
It's just exciting.
Like all the walls.
Because it's just putting insulation in. I mean,
yes.
I don't know. It's something, I don't know. I'm excited.
We also are already noticing how much warmer it can be in here just from insulating the floor.
The floor is so much warmer.
It is, and that's very exciting for us because we're already thinking like, man, it'll be so nice when it can actually be warm in here.
Yeah.
And we're not just working in like a metal box.
Yeah.
So we're super excited. We're gonna insulate all day today, and we're just gonna bring you along for it because
last night we didn't stop working until like 12:30.
Yeah, it was a really late night.
Man, it was something.
But we made it. We got the floor done. We feel really good about it. So before we get started, we're just gonna show you what the floor ended up looking like last night. I think we showed.
We didn't show you what it looked like when we put the stock floor back in.
Yeah, but we'll show you that now.
We had it flipped over last night and it got really cold. So the whole bottom had like a layer of frost on it. So we had to defrost the floor.
Wipe it off. Make sure we weren't putting it back in the van wet.
Yeah, so that kind of added to our time frame last night.
Yeah, so I'm just going to show you what the floor looks like now. We got it all insulated and
so I have to bolt it down.
Yeah.
But it's at least in, so.
Yeah, we feel good about it.
Yeah.
So now it's time to start insulating.
Let's get warm. Alright, we got one side done already, and man, it is looking good. I don't know about you, but do you feel like it's getting quieter in here?
A little bit.
Like, I feel like over here, I don't hear an echo, and then when I go more towards this side, I hear more of an echo.
You just raised your voice a little bit when you went to this side.
Anyways, we got one side done, all the hard parts anyways. We left like the two spots where the windows go for last, but we just got one more side, and this side's the short side because it's the one with the door, and we're not doing the door today because we're getting a window installed on Wednesday. So really this side should go a lot faster, so I'm really proud of us. I think we're doing really good. Hi, Chloe girl. So we got all the insulation tucked into the walls, and we had the bats like up in where the windows were. We had it up but with tape.
It wasn't holding.
It wasn't holding, and we ended up deciding to not put reflectix up on the walls because it's just going to be more hassle than what it's worth. So
when we
Go ahead.
When we are ready to put up the insulation that actually covers the part of the wall that doesn't have anything for it to hold on to, we're just going to put up the furring strips and then tuck it behind. So when we get to that, probably, I don't know, in a couple days, we're gonna have to take a couple days off of working on the van just because we have to work. But when we come back to work on the van, we'll show you what that looks like.
Yeah, I think it's
where
just
we
gonna
tuck
be
it into
easier.
the wall.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be easier. I think the Reflectix is really better for covering things like windows anyway.
Yeah,
That's everything that we've read.
We were struggling to put it up, and then we read about it, and it's just, it's not really worth it. So.
Yeah, so we're gonna just kind of start fresh.
Yeah.
With the rest of this.
But we had
on another day, and then
we had a late night last night, so
we're trying to make this one a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
So I think that's gonna be it for the day. We really got a lot done.
We did.
Honestly, like the
starting
insulation
to see
took a
progress
while.
coming around, you know.
Yes, and like the floor is almost like fully ready to go. All we have to do is bolt it down, and then
we gotta test those and make sure, like, with the height difference from where it was, if the bolts that were in it before will fit. So we're going to test that before we leave, and then if it works, then we'll put them in later. If not, we'll have to get some new ones. So,
but that's it for today, and I think it'll probably be, what, 3 or 4 days? We'll see you in a few days.
Yeah, we'll see you in a few days.
We're back!
Last time we saw you guys, we said that we were getting our last window put in. And
I actually don't know if we told them that.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe we didn't. But
we did.
It's in, so we're going to show you that real fast. There it is. It's in the sliding door.
And this also has the vent. So
that one does vent. So that'll be nice.
You can open that pretty far.
It's very close to our max air fan, so we'll have that cross ventilation there. Not gonna lie though, I really thought that this window had both of the bottom windows that vented. But they already had it installed to us and ordered it, so it's kind of too late, but it's okay. We'll be fine. We did go ahead and get the furring strips or strapping or whatever you want to call it. So we got those, and we got them cut. Yeah, so today we're going to be putting in the furring strips.
And then we haven't finished it yet. We do still have to insulate the ceiling. And then the last time that we showed you guys the insulation, we did have it up over the parts where you could install windows, and we had it taped up, but since we didn't have the furring strips up, it started to fall down, so we decided just to take it down and tuck it in behind the furring strips. That way it has something to hold on to.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just need to get these put up today. We're going to finish the furring strips and the insulation. And the insulation this weekend, so that will be what the rest of this vlog includes, basically.
Yeah, so we'll have it ready to start everything else fully insulated, and then we'll go from there.
And then the next video you see will be electrical, so we need to get started.
Yeah, let's go. Alright, so we got the front half of the van done, really over half done with the studs, and they were looking really good. I'm really glad we chose to do it this way. With the 3/4 inch plywood, we ripped them down to 3-inch strips, and we're just kind of following the curvature of the van, and I think it's turning out really well. But we do have to go get more screws, so we're gonna have to go to Lowe's and get those, but here's what it's looking like so far. Chloe, what are you doing?
Now that we're back from Lowe's, we need to do a little bit of brainstorming on how exactly we're going to frame out the back half of the van. Basically, like around where the windows are, because we want to be strategic with it. Because in the end of this, we want to have a nice frame around the window. And right now, we're just really not sure what that looks like with our walls being curved. So we're gonna be getting creative with it, and I think you're just gonna have to stick around to see what actually happens with this, because we don't know now, but we will. All right, we did some brainstorming.
Lots of brainstorming.
Think we have what will be the frame for our window, and I guess like the cabinets too, but mostly what we were worried about was getting the frame for the window correct, so that when we go to put the framing in for that, it actually is correct. So we're ready to show you.
I think we got it. Hopefully, fingers crossed. We haven't finished the bottom of the window frame yet, but we're gonna have to go get a 1x6, and then that will finish out the bottom right here. And then once that's in, then we'll know how long to make the other two pieces that will go down. So same on both sides, but we're feeling really good about it, and we're just really hoping that it works in the end. So that's all for today, and we will see you guys in the morning. Good morning.
We are back and ready for another day of van building.
Yep, today hopefully we get all of the furring strips done and the ceiling completely done. That's our goal.
That's the goal. We do have some time throughout this week to finish up the insulation in the ceiling if we need to, so we may save that for throughout the week, but we definitely will show you what that looks like.
Yep.
And we might put a couple clips in here, but mostly what we're worried about right now is finishing up the furring strips. So we went to Lowe's this morning. We got everything that we needed, I hope.
God, I hope so.
I hope. So we're just going to get right to it.
Alright, so I believe all of the furring strips on the sides of the van were done. We got the framer on the window. I'm going to show you what that looks like, kind of like face on. Obviously this isn't like the finished product, but I think this is going to make it easier to make the finished product. So I'm going to show you guys what that looks like. So we got the frame there. All the furring strips are in. And the other frame. And Chloe. So I believe all that's done now, so we're gonna move on to the ceiling and get all of those furring strips done, and then maybe insulate.
Still good. Yeah, I did that.
Down just a little bit.
Good?
Yep.
Oh no! Oh my gosh! They all stayed in there except for like
But,
six
see, that's what I don't understand. If it was me that dropped that, it would just, the whole thing, everywhere. And then I would come down off the ladder, step on one, and go through my foot. You drop it, and it's like, oh, 5 of them came out. Oh well.
That's so funny.
So we kind of ended just a little abruptly yesterday. We did end up finishing all of the furring strips in the ceiling. It got dark and we were ready to go home, so but we did get those done yesterday, and now we are doing probably the most intricate thing ever, putting insulation in the ceiling. And Hannah's doing an amazing job at putting all the string up and like going back and forth between the beams. That way we can hold the insulation up. We've got 3 areas done already. So I just want to show you what that looks like. Kind of wanted to get it, like, the system down before we showed you guys, because it's kind of complicated, and the distance between like each of the beams is different, so it's not like you can just do the same thing on each one. So yeah, we've got pretty much the back half of the van done now, and we're really coming along. So I'm gonna show you what that looks like real quick. So So this is how the insulation on the ceiling's looking. Like I said, Hannah's getting all this string ran back and forth. But yeah, it's looking really good.
Bring it up here. And then here, we've just been taking the string back and forth, and it goes in these little holes, like right there. We've just been putting it through there, tying it off at the ends to whatever, and putting 2 bats deep, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So 4 inches total.
Yeah. So 2 bats of insulation. And we're cutting it to size, but you can do it however you want it.
And the great thing about doing the 2 bats deep is that, like, our ceiling is going to be straight, which is pretty much the same depth as the 2 bats, but that makes our ceiling have an R value of 14 because each bat, or 2 inches, is an R value of 7. So our ceiling's really going to be super well insulated. So obviously heat rises, and so I just really think it's going to keep our van super warm and cool when it needs to be. And yeah, we're just really excited about it. Just when we thought we were done with insulation, we are going to now insulate above the headliner in the cab area, because we've seen a lot of people say that is one place that people forget to insulate, and they run into a lot of moisture issues and things like that. So we were trying to figure out a way to get around not having to take it out and take all the bolts out, but we're gonna have to do that. So that's what we're up to now.
And we're not going to show all the steps for how to take the headliner down, because Keith actually found a video where a guy explains it extremely well, and that's what we're going off of. So what was that video?
He'll
put it on the screen.
I'll put it on the screen, and I'll also link it down below, because it was extremely helpful. He goes into detail about the exact bit size you need, how to take it apart, how to put it back together. It was extremely helpful. So
we're gonna get straight to it.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's out.
Like I said, I would not have been able to do this if I didn't watch that video. I'll find it. I can't remember the guy's name or their channel's name, but
it'll be linked down below.
Literally, it gives you step by step what you need to do, and if it wasn't for that, I would not have felt confident doing it. So thank you guys for that.
Time to insulate. Just like that, we have finished all of the insulation that we can do right now. There's still a couple things left, but they're not something that we can do right now, so we're just saving the extra insulation until it comes time to do those areas. But I feel really good.
Yeah.
I feel so good about what we've done so far.
I feel like it looks really good, and we watch so many videos on people doing the stringing and putting it up, and in my mind I was like, there's no way it's gonna work that way for us. It's just, I don't know, for some reason it's not gonna happen, and it did. Yeah.
And I think it looks really good. So I'm super excited about it. I think it's really coming together.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I really feel like this is gonna come together fast.
Our next step is putting our floor in and doing the electrical, but once that happens, the ceiling's gonna start and structures are gonna start happening. So it's just getting really exciting seeing it. I feel like the stuff that we've done so far is kind of not necessarily boring, but it's not like
just
you don't
not
see
as
the
exciting.
you don't see like the vision as much. So.
Yeah, it's not as exciting because like you said, you really don't see the vision until you see the structures in the van. You see everything like kind of starting to take shape, take its place.
And we like taped the floor and stuff, but it's just not the same as like seeing like a 3D. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
I feel super excited about it. We're gonna show you what this looks like completely done up to this point. Yep. And then we'll go from there. So let us know down in the comments what you think of the van so far. How you think we're doing? I feel like we're doing a really good job.
So if you don't think we are, be kind.
Yes, please be kind. But I think we're doing really good so far. It's really coming together a lot faster than I thought.
Me too.
But I don't know. We would just want to hear what you guys have to say about it. I think
we're doing a pretty good job.
I think we're doing a good job, but I also think like things are about to start getting really exciting. And I mean, really I guess fast. With that said, go ahead and subscribe, like the video, help us out there. But really, that's it for this vlog.
Yep. And I'm not sure what's next, but you'll definitely see it. So yes. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one.